As it always is when you come in here and try to come out on the left-hand side, it's going to be a rock fight at times. I thought we showed some grittiness and some toughness, maybe when things didn't flow as smoothly as they can sometimes for us offensively, and we had different guys step up and make plays and, able to withstand their run at us there in the second half and then get separation and put it away. So we know we're always in for a battle when we come here. Life on the road in the Big Ten is very difficult. So when you can get road wins and lead wire to wire like we did, I felt it was a really good team win, and obviously a lot of contributions from across the board. Questions?
Go ahead,
Sorry. They had 18 offensive rebounds. Mm-hmm. You guys had 16 turnovers. I guess what were they doing to kind of ugly things up, and what was
getting the ball before we did on the offensive glass? Yeah, I thought we got beat to some loose balls at times in the second half. Sometimes there's longer shots and longer rebounds. The turnovers, I thought, especially in the first half, they were self-inflicted. We needed to do a better job of playing off 2 feet, changing sides of the floor, making the defense have to move before we started to attack. We tried to attack through a loaded defense at times. But credit to them, that's how they're gonna play. They're gonna be physical. They're gonna be handsy. Not everything's gonna get called. You got to find a way to fight through it. And for us to shoot only 6 free throws when we've been one of the top in the country, I don't know. I'll have to look through the tape and see if we really weren't fouled. Maybe we weren't.
Well, you stole my question there, Greg.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't control what's called, but in terms of just your initial impressions of, did you think your guys were doing enough to at least put them in position?
No, we need to play off 2 feet more. And we talked about it first half, second half. In transition, we needed to do it. Even late in the second half, we needed to do it more. But I think it was physical. There was a lot of contact at times, but we got to be able to play through that and not count on getting a foul called. We got to be able to finish plays and score the ball.
You obviously had a lot of threes last game, and the three wasn't falling today, and the turnovers. Did you learn anything about your team and the way that they can operate in these
defensively, I
environments?
thought you hold Ace Bailey. We'll see their names called here in June. Him 3 for 16 and Harper 0 for 2, and I thought we really did a really good job on both of them. Other than the 3 we gave Bailey at the start of the second half, Max wasn't aggressive enough on him and kind of backed off a little bit. I don't know why, but that was the only one I felt we really allowed him to comfortably take.
On guarding Ace, was it a matter of being aggressive and forcing him to take those tough shots? Just what do you think allowed you guys to hold him to 3?
Yeah, I think, we defensively, I think, have a good plan and a good system. We didn't have to change what we do day in and day out. And we're going to use multiple guys on him, starting with Max. I felt his experience would help. And then obviously other guys, Janicki had him for a little bit, Blackwell had him for a little bit. So it was a team effort and making sure we had help built around them too. And not putting those two, whether it was Harper or Bailey, putting them on an island in a situation with their defender.
Tajay in the second half, 13 points, and down the stretch, seemed like he really kind of came to alive for you at various points. What kind of just stands out to you? What did you see in terms of just maybe why he was a little more effective than in recent times?
Well, I think he took better shots for the most part and was more aggressive. And he's one of the guys that we've been constantly working to help improve playing off 2 feet. And he knows it. I mean, he said it to me right away after the game. He said, "Coach, I'm trying. I got to get that better in terms of add that to his toolbox." So I like the fact that he was aggressive, and we put him in situations a few times where we put the ball in his hands intentionally and let him go to work. So, a mature player that delivered when we needed him to.
Right, your program over the years has had a tradition of being patient with big men waiting to come into their own. How do you feel Steven has fallen in line with that development?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of his. I see him every day. I've seen him every day for 4.5 years, and I felt he has the potential to be, and I've been around all the really good ones, the ones that even have their Kaminsky has his number hanging in our rafters. But Steve is best when he's aggressive. And I think the last 4 games, we've tweaked how we sub him in and out a little bit. I think it's helped him, but he knows an aggressive Steve is the best Steve. And, he was big for us, especially down the stretch. Both ends off the backboard, that he got us some key offensive rebounds, finished some plays, and then was able to gobble up some defensive rebounds there at the end too for us to seal it away.
Any updates on Max and Nolan?
Yeah, it's nothing. I haven't talked to the trainer yet, but he had his shoe back on walking around when he was back in the locker room. So he claims he'll be okay. He's a tough kid. So we'll get a day off here tomorrow and a couple days here to get ready for Minnesota.
Nolan just had his hand worked on.
Yeah, he had cut it. So I just pulled him out because it was bleeding, and I knew we couldn't get that stopped by the time we had to sub in. I wanted to get Steve there out in before the horn went, and I knew we couldn't get the bleeding and get it wrapped up in time. So I just made the quick sub, and it was about time for Steve to come back in anyway.